Division I local football team is facing serious penalties because of an ineligible player.
And Greene County held their annual Harvest Festival. Hello everyone, and thank you for joining us on Channel 14 News this evening. I'm Jenny Shoup.
And I'm Sean Saputo. The Washington High School football team suffered a serious penalty Tuesday morning. The WPIAL ruled the team will have to forfeit 6 games because of the ineligibility of a player. The Prexies are to forfeit because of wide receiver Cortez Levy and decisions that came about with his eligibility that now affect the entire team. Tim O'Malley of the WPIAL said, quote, "The young fellow is eligible to participate through the remainder of the year. Wash High, however, has been directed to forfeit the games in which this person played while he was ineligible," end quote. After a routine review of his senior record preparing for college, it was discovered he repeated a 9th grade semester in Michigan and again in Washington when he transferred. WPIAL allows only 4 years of eligibility.
Gas well drilling companies and related industries will be able to explore and drill for natural gas in Peters with a set of guidelines approved earlier this week. The township established a mineral extraction policy last year. However, some of it conflicted with the state's Act 13 and needed to be adjusted. After 2 public hearings, Council voted 4-0-1 for the modified ordinance, which establishes ground rules and limits for seismic testing companies and other industries.
History was back once again at the Greene County Museum last weekend as large crowds gathered to celebrate a rich local tradition known as the Harvest Festival. The traditional fall festival has been held every year since the County Museum first opened in 1971. The 2-day event featured area crafters and artisans demonstrating and selling their wares, as well as a wide array of live entertainment, food, games, exhibits, information booths, and the Civil War reenactment. The reenactment is a long-running tradition at the festival and was held both days. It featured members of the local 140th PA Volunteers. The group hosted a living history encampment and conducted authentic skirmishes both days.
Clara Santucci of Dillner was the first American woman to cross the finish line in the Chicago Marathon on October 13th. She beat more than 39,000 runners who finished the 26.2-mile race that fielded top runners from across the globe. Only a few Kenyans, who are known for their long-distance running, and a Russian were able to cross the finish line before Santucci. Santucci said about the race, "I trained hard. I knew I was capable of that kind of performance. I'm very happy being the top American woman to finish the race."
On their national radio tour for their recently released duet, Lay It On Me, Alexandra Dimitri and Wes Hayden made a stop to Waynesburg. They performed last night at Rinky Dink's Roadhouse in Amity. The 27-year-old Dimitri originally wrote Lay It On Me and recorded it as a solo project in 2010. Dimitri and Hayden met through a mutual friend, and then when the pair ended up sharing the label SSM Nashville Records, the duet was born.
The Obamacare website continues to have glitches. We'll have all the details right after the break.
Libby the library cat found her love for books at the Bowlby Library. Bowlby Library, located off of West Street in Waynesburg, Pennsylvania, is a free public library that offers different services to the residents of Greene County. The library includes both a children's department as well as an adult section. The family literacy department offers different tutoring opportunities as well as computer classes. For more information about library services, please visit www.evakbowlby.org.
The White House has appointed a management guru to oversee fixing the glitchy Obamacare website. CNN's Jim Acosta reports.
Hi, everybody.
The White House is out to make sure the bugs in the Obamacare website don't bite back. So the president recorded this video message for his post-campaign volunteer team to spread the message of patience.
By now, you've probably heard that the website has not worked as smoothly as it was supposed to.
The Obama administration has also appointed Jeff Zients, the man who will soon be the president's top economist and who once served as acting budget director, to be the Mr. Fix-It, to go after the site's technical problems.
I think he's providing management advice and consultation, but For more details about his role, because he's being brought on by HHS, I would refer you to HHS.
But the White House is offering few additional details about the website rescue effort.
I would refer you to HHS. The tech surge was announced by CMS and HHS, so I would refer you to them. I would refer you to HHS for that.
Republicans want more oversight, calling for weekly reports on the website's progress and a delay of the individual mandate to buy insurance if the tech issues continue.
The president put politics ahead of his own program working effectively and easily for hundreds of millions of Americans.
Former vice presidential candidate Paul Ryan is the latest top GOP leader to call on Health and Human Services Secretary Kathleen Sebelius to step down, saying on a Republican conference call, this rollout has been a fiasco. I think some people should be held responsible. But Clay Johnson, a former White House Innovation Fellow who worked on IT projects for the administration, says the real problem is with the government contractors who built the site.
I think that they don't know how to measure success. I mean, the federal government wants to innovate so badly, but it doesn't have the access to the right kinds of contractors that it needs in order to pull off these kinds of innovation.
Jim Acosta, CNN, Washington.
A Democratic source tells CNN the White House offered House Republicans a briefing on Obamacare just days before the insurance marketplace went live online. A spokesman for the House Speaker, John Boehner, says that offer was never made, but if this offer still stands, they'll take it.
Motivated by the mass shooting in Newtown, Connecticut, a group of students in Washington, D.C. have come up with a way to keep intruders out of their classrooms. CNN's Zane Asher has the details.
This is Dead Stop.
It costs just $5 to make, weighs less than a pound. But students at Benjamin Banneker Academic High School in Washington, D.C. hope that this simple invention could protect more students during school shootings than metal detectors and bag checks.
With active shooters being unfortunately so prevalent, we need to come up with other ways to secure buildings.
Students and teachers here have been so shaken by recent school shootings.
For me, the key shooting was in Columbine High School in Colorado, where it was actually a mathematics teacher who was killed, and I teach mathematics here.
That they've invented a locking device for classroom doors.
Because it happened in Connecticut, it can also happen here in D.C.
Made up of a PVC pipe and a steel pin, the device can be fitted over a hydraulic door closer if there's ever an intruder in the hallway, keeping the classroom firmly locked and preventing a gunman from gaining entry.
In lieu of trying to get all the school doors with deadbolt locks on it, I think this is a quick, practical way of doing it.
Like in many schools across the country, classrooms here cannot be locked from the inside for fire safety reasons.
I don't even have a handle on the inside of my door or any way to secure the inside of the door.
At Sandy Hook Elementary School last December, one teacher had to lock her students in a bathroom to protect them from 20-year-old gunman Adam Lanza.
The recent shooting in another school where the shooter broke into the building and shot a lot of kids, it inspired us because it proved out the building, it's like the doors aren't that secure.
Students here were recently awarded a $6,600 grant from Lemelson MIT to develop a final version of their device.
Well, we're not ready for an IPO yet, but we anticipate having a really good prototype by this spring.
And with this crude safety mechanism, they say they now have an extra barrier in place if they ever hear gunshots from the hallway.
God forbid something happens, but my hope is that everyone is trained in how to use it and that everyone has it where it is available to use.
Zane Asher, CNN, New York.
After toppling an ancient rock formation in a Utah state park, 2 Scoutsmasters have been stripped of their scouting titles. The 2 men, Glenn Taylor and Dave Hall, knowingly and purposefully pushed over a rock formation that was approximately 170 million years old. They argue that the rocks had the possibility of falling over and injuring some of the scouts they were leading. To eliminate the possibility of injuries, the 2 men explained that was the reasoning behind why they took such a drastic action. A video of the men toppling the formation was posted on Facebook, and that upon being noticed by the Boy Scouts Utah National Parks Council immediately led to the demotion of Mr. Taylor and Mr. Hall.
The New Jersey Supreme Court refused to temporarily delay a lower court's ruling. New Jersey Governor Chris Christie dropped a lawsuit against allowing same-sex marriages in the Garden State. Last month, a lower court judge in New Jersey ruled that due to the Supreme Court's reversal of the Defense of Marriage Act, and New Jersey must now allow and recognize same-sex marriages. The Christie administration appealed the ruling and took their case to the state Supreme Court. When hearing a trial would not occur until early 2014, Christie argued the court should temporarily halt the implementation of the lower court's ruling, which would have allowed gay marriages to start this past Monday. The state Supreme Court overwhelmingly denied the governor's request last Friday, and upon hearing the news, Christie dropped his appeal. This now makes New Jersey the 14th state to legalize same-sex marriage.
3 people helped a woman in need, saving the police extra work. We'll have all the details coming up next.
The dirty work was already done for police Tuesday afternoon at a Chartiers Valley shopping center in Collier Township. 3 Good Samaritans got involved when they saw a man steal a woman's purse. According to witnesses, the suspect grabbed the elderly woman's purse in Kmart's nearby parking lot. The robber was confronted by a bicycler who jumped off of his bike to pounce on him. A Sonic employee then ran out of the back door of the business to help out. Another man stood there with a baseball bat, making sure that the thief did not go anywhere. Collier Township Police say the suspect will face robbery charges.
A man responsible for thwarting a robbery now faces charges of his own. Pittsburgh police have charged 53-year-old John Carter of Verona with aggravated assault and recklessly endangering another person. Carter, who works as a private security guard, shot and wounded a robbery suspect earlier this month. Even though Carter had a license to carry a firearm, police say that his testimony is, quote, inconsistent with surveillance footage. The robbery suspect was taken to the hospital in critical condition due to the amount of times Carter shot him. Carter is now in jail on $5,000 straight cash bond.
Mayor Luke Ravenstahl toured the new Pittsburgh Public Market yesterday to focus not only on the market, but also his own legacy. He says the Pittsburgh Promise Scholarship Program, lower crime, and a balanced budget are the legacies he will leave and has been leaving for the past 7 years. However, the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette recently pointed out the mayor has been posting tweets about his success in Pittsburgh from places other than Pittsburgh. Some of them were sent from locations other than the city-county building, including Ben Avon and Shanopin. He admitted the tweets were sent from other places, but he denies he ever intended to imply he was sending live tweets from his staff meeting. The mayor says he'll continue to be more visible at events and on social media till his term ends in January.
The Erie County Democratic Committee in northwestern Pennsylvania kicked one Erie City Councilman off the committee because he violated bylaws by publicly supporting a Republican colleague in an upcoming council election. Councilman Mel Weatherspoon was voted off of the committee after refusing to resign. Weatherspoon supports fellow Councilman John Evans, who is the only Republican running for council in November. Evans and Weatherspoon have been longtime friends, and while the committee understood why he supported Evans, they couldn't ignore the bylaws. Weatherspoon isn't up for re-election this year.
Coming up after the break, John St. Laurent will have your business report. Stay tuned.
Apple product is losing its value. John, can you fill us in on this story?
Sure can, Sean. And if you are looking to trade in your iPad, then you may want to do it sooner rather than later. Our prices are now dropping. CNN's Allison Kosick has more.
Apple fanatics are trading in their iPads in droves, and if you want to get top dollar, you better act fast. Online retailer Gazelle says iPad trade-ins have surged to the highest level of the year. Nextworth says it saw trade-ins more than triple last week. It all started a few days ago when Apple sent out an invitation to an event being held in San Francisco tomorrow. Word on the street is the iPad and the iPad mini will be getting a refresh. It will be the first redesign in more than a year and a half. If that happens, that means the current iPads will see their value drop, which is why trade-ins are surging. We looked around, and if you have a 32 gig third generation iPad with Wi-Fi only, you could get over $200 for it on Gazelle, Nextworth, and GameStop. The fourth generation will get even more money. The conditioned memory and 3G capability factor into the price as well. Many sites will provide an instant quote when you input the specs. Also taking trade-ins, Amazon, Apple, and Radio Shack. For Apple, the pressure is on. Its share of the tablet market has plunged to 32%, down from 60% last year. Rivals Samsung, Acer, and Lenovo are gaining ground. I'm Allison Kosick in New York.
An update of Apple's iPad tablets were announced Tuesday, making the tablets thinner, lighter, and faster. The iPads now have a new name, which is called the iPad Air. Prices will start at $499, and they will go up to $629. The iPad will be the same size of the previous iPad and hold the same A7 processing chip that is in the iPhone 5. Senior Vice President Phil Schiller says it will make it 72 times faster than the original iPad. A former Florida commissioner and 2 other people are being accused of selling fake bulletproof vests. Authorities arrested the men on Monday on charges of fraud and counterfeiting charges. Investigators are trying to track down who bought the vests so that the people aren't in danger of getting hurt or potentially killed. In a way, students at public universities are getting a break. The cost of in-state tuition at public 4-year colleges this year is $8,900 a year. This is an increase of less than 3%, making it the smallest bump in tuition since 1975. This is a slowdown from the annual 8% increase over a few decades. For Channel 14 News, I'm John St. Laurent. Your Jacket Sports Update with Austin Anderson starts right after this.
Live with a human for a while and you get to know a few things. Like, I know she's actually not a morning person. I know she does strange tricks for no treats. I know that water makes her howl like crazy. I even know how the floor stays so clean. She's quick. But the one thing I will never for the life of me know is how she gets so tiny and inside that box. Natalie, how do you get so tiny?
There was a blackout last night at John F. Wiley Stadium. Austin, can you tell us more?
Yes, Jenny, both teams took the field in front of a sea of black. The women's soccer team scored a goal against Westminster. That normally wouldn't mean much, but it was the first goal given up by the Titans since October 1st. Westminster had gone almost 5.5 games without giving up a goal. Sophomore midfielder Carly Murphy scored with only 6 seconds remaining in the opening half to give the Jackets the 1-0 advantage. The lead lasted for 20 minutes until Westminster's Sammy Crease scored midway through the second half. Neither team scored for the rest of regulation and the 2 overtimes to force a draw. Sophomore goalkeeper Sierra Scott saved 5 of 6 shots in the draw. The team heads north to take on Washington and Jefferson Saturday at 3:30 p.m. In the second game of the senior night doubleheader, the men's team also played to a 1-1 draw. Senior forward Tim Fields continues his recent success with a goal of his own. He was assisted by junior Nick Brommer. Sophomore goalie Brandon Daughtry gave up the only goal. That is his best outcome since October 12th, when he gave up no goals against Teal. With the draw, the Jackets tied Bethany for 7th place in the conference with 7 points. Waynesburg is away against rival Washington Jefferson on Saturday at 3:30 p.m. The Waynesburg University football team was able to hold a 2013 lead against Bethany last Saturday as they fell by a score of 27-20. Bethany quarterback Matt Grimard connected with wide receiver Eric Blinn twice in the final quarter to complete the comeback. The last score came with only 20 seconds left. Sophomore running back Jerry Lawman led the team in rushing yards with 109 and a touchdown. Junior quarterback Carter Hill threw for 225 yards and a touchdown. Junior wide receiver Andrew English led the team in receiving yards with 80 in the losing effort. Waynesburg hosts its final home game, Saturday at 1:30 as it takes on the Geneva Golden Tornadoes at John F. Wiley Stadium. The women's tennis team ended its season last Saturday with a 5th place finish at the PAC Championships in Erie, Pennsylvania at the Pennebar Athletic Club. Sophomore Sarah Reyes highlighted the team's efforts on the day as she was victorious against Thomas More's Anna Hetzer, winning in straight sets 6-3 and 6-4. The only other player close to winning the singles was junior Lauren Cowden as she fell in her match 6-4, 4-6, 6-4. As a whole, the team scored 20 points, which was 4 points off 3rd place Geneva and 34 points off champion Westminster. History was made last Saturday at the Oberlin Cross Country Meet. According to freshman runner Brendan Keeney, sophomore Ben McCauley ran the fastest 3K time in school history. His record was 26 minutes, 48 seconds, and 0.6 of a second. Keeney's finish was good for 2nd all-time in school history. He finished with a time of 27:32.0. Due to the large field of runners, neither Keeney nor McCauley placed in the top 70 overall. Both Keeney and McCauley are poised to place highly in the PAC Championships on November 2nd in Pittsburgh, PA. I'm Austin Anderson, and that's sports. Coming up next, Ryan Schwertfeger has the latest news, headlines in this week's Yellow Jacket.
Take a look under your bed. Find stuff under there? What about jobs? No? Now try your closet. Still no jobs, just more stuff? Well, you really have both. See, stuff is defined as household articles considered as a group. Sometimes this stuff is no longer needed. Wait, no longer needed? That can't be right. Because remember those jobs you were looking for? Those are really needed. And they're the stuff inside your stuff. Our job is to unlock those jobs. And it starts when you donate your stuff to your local Goodwill. Here's how we do it. When you donate to Goodwill, we sell your stuff to provide job training for people right here in your community. So just by teaming up with Goodwill, you help create jobs. And isn't that worth parting with the leftover keytar from your 80s cover band? Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs.
Edition of the Yellow Jackets hit stands later. Ryan, can you fill us in on some of the stories?
I certainly can, Sean. A new issue of the Yellow Jacket hit stands today, and here's a preview of what you'll find in this week's newspaper. Waynesburg University will be hosting a creative writing workshop on November the 7th. The workshop will provide a positive environment for students and faculty from local high schools to put their creative writing skills into practice. Associate Professor of English Amy Randolph has been coordinating the workshop since 2008. The student writing workshop will be led by university faculty in addition to upperclassmen majoring in creative writing. High school faculty members attending the event will participate in exercises with a visiting professor and published poet from College of the Holy Cross, Robert Cording. The cost to attend the workshop is $5 per student. Isabel McKinney-Smith, a recent graduate of Waynesburg University's Graduate and Professional Studies program, will be awarded one of UPMC's hospital's highest honors, the Cameo of Caring Award. UPMC began the program and award gala in 1999 to honor exceptional bedside nurses who work at acute care hospitals. McKinney Smith has helped patients with chronic illnesses and their families manage such diseases. 60 medical facilities participated in the most recent Cameo of Caring Awards Gala. It was attended by about 1,200 guests. Locally owned banks, businesses, and nonprofit organizations came together on October 17th for the 7th annual Greene County Business Expo. Each participating business sent representatives to staff a booth and talked to interested passers-by about their products or service. Committee chairperson of the Greene County Business Expo, Alan Lakitt, said it was a great way to let the public see what companies Greene County has to offer, while also providing companies with an opportunity to talk to members of its target audience face-to-face. Dr. Robert LeCount has been awarded the position of Professor Emeritus here at Waynesburg University, which will allow LeCount to conduct more research at Waynesburg. LeCount retired this past year after teaching chemistry at the university since 1965. After retiring, he still chose to come back and teach in a part-time position to continue his research with the problem of carbon dioxide sequestration. You'll find these stories and more in this week's Yellow Jacket on stands now. And to view the publication online, visit www.issuu.com/WU Yellowjacket. Reporting for the Yellow Jacket newspaper, I'm Ryan Schwertfeger, and now we'll look at this week's weather with J.D. Leidick.
The final week of the high school football season is upon us, and it's set to be the coldest one yet. I'll tell you how to prepare for the cold temperatures, along with a full 5-day forecast. All this and more coming up in just a few minutes. Stay tuned.
In the small town of Elmira, New York, a boy was born into an all-American family. The odds of him achieving his dream in the fashion industry? 1 in 23 million. The odds of having a child diagnosed with autism? 1 in 110. I am Tommy Hilfiger, and my family is affected by autism. Learn more at autismspeaks.org/signs.
Currently, it's 43 degrees here in Waynesburg. Today's high will be 45 with a slight chance of rain. Tonight, the low will be 25. Taking a look at the 5-day forecast. Friday, the high will be 45 degrees with partly sunny skies. As the high school football kicks off, the low will be 25. As we move into the weekend, the clouds will stick around on Saturday with a high of 51. The nighttime temperature will be around freezing with a low of 32 degrees. On Sunday, some sun will peek through the clouds as the high will be 49. During the evening, the temperatures will stay at about 27 degrees. Starting off the work week, Monday will see some warmer temperatures with mostly sunny skies and a high of 55. The low at night will be 34. And wrapping up the 5-day forecast, Tuesday will be mostly cloudy with a high of 60. Temperatures at night will be around 42 degrees. Currently, it's 43 degrees here in Waynesburg. For Channel 14 Weather, I'm J.D. Leidick.
Thank you for joining us on Channel 14 News this evening.
Tune in next week and every week for Live at 5. Have a great weekend, everyone.